5 times the disciples doubted Jesus. Number 1, Peter doubts walking on water. In Matthew 14:27-31, Jesus comes to the disciples at night in a boat by walking on water. They were all afraid, but Peter in particular called out to him. And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Peter's lack of faith in the Lord caused him to sink.
Number 2, the disciples fear the storm. So, similar to the story of Peter doubting in the rough waters, the rest of the disciples did as well in Luke chapter 8, verses 22-25. It says, "Now it happened on a certain day that he got into a boat with his disciples, and he says to them, 'Let us cross over to the other side of the lake.' And they launched out. But as they sailed, he fell asleep. And a windstorm came down on the lake, and they were filling with water and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, 'Master, Master, we are perishing.' Then he rose and rebuked the wind and raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. But he said to them, 'Where is your faith?'"
Number 3, Thomas and the disciples doubted his resurrection. Now, some of the other disciples doubted Jesus' resurrection as well, but most notable is Thomas. He even had a term coined after him, Doubting Thomas, based on John 20:24-31. When the disciples came to Thomas saying that they'd seen the Lord, Thomas was noted saying, "Well, unless I see his hands, the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." Jesus literally had to come and implore Thomas to touch him for him to believe.
Number 4, the disciples doubt Jesus' anointing over them. Now, Jesus gave all his disciples the authority to cast out spirits and heal people. However, in Matthew chapter 17, verses 15-20, they failed to cast out the demon in an epileptic boy. Once Jesus was able to heal the boy, the disciples had questions. Verse 19-20 says, "Then the disciples came to Jesus privately and said, 'Why could we not cast it out?' So Jesus said to them, 'Because of your unbelief. For assuredly I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you.'" Their lack of belief and